Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome to the webinar and thank you for joining with us today. Give me a heads up, please, and just let me know that you can hear me and see the screen, and then I'll know we can get cracking. Okay, all right. I can always count on my members to be there when I need you. Thank you, Francis. I'm very excited to be giving this webinar today. I love doing these webinars. And it's always exciting because there's always something new and interesting going on, and the markets are always crazy. And this week, and especially yesterday and today, the markets are crazy. So we're going to talk about news trading and how the magnet strategy has changed news trading forever. And I'm not making it up. This is not a story. It's not a clickbait. It's actually really true. I'm going to teach you all about the magnet strategy today and how to use it for trading the news. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director for 10 Minute Trades. Just please remember that all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading futures, so trade carefully, please. Okay, we trade a very specific method. We use NinjaTrader software. We trade what we call appointment-based trading, and we trade futures. Right now, we're in the middle of earnings season. We trade selected stock earnings, but we use the futures markets to trade those earnings. So don't get confused when we say we're trading earnings, which is something we do every quarter. We're using the futures to do it, and we use the NinjaTrader platform. Our software installs into that platform. We have a system. We love our system, and it's got four main elements to the system: the WMM, the DMM, trade room, and software. Put all of those elements together, and you have our very simple and easy to learn trading system. It's not complicated. NewsTrader software. Inside the NewsTrader software is our magnet strategy, our trap trade strategy, which is a special reversal type of setup. Then we have our easy to use reverse continuation trade setups. We have range trades, discretionary trading, news specific trading, prop account trading. All of this style of trading can be done using our software, and we teach about it every single day in our trade room. So again, we have these very important elements that make up our system. The weekly market mover is our weekly schedule. And let me show you this week's schedule. It was a very active week this week. We had a lot going on. This is what our weekly schedule looks like. Every Sunday, our members receive the schedule, and it's also put on our website, so you can download it. But it's usually out, I would say, without fail before Sunday, but we distribute it via email every Sunday. And our schedule has important information on it. It's got the trigger time. That's a fancy way of saying what time are we going to trade this particular event. We trade currently the gold open, the oil open, and the regular U.S. market open. Right now, we're doing them every day in our trade room, Monday to Friday. We love the U.S. market open, and I love the gold open. Oil open, we're not sure yet how we feel about it. It's something new. We really just started doing it a week ago. And the oil open is a little bit more challenging, and we're going to decide if we're going to keep it. The way that we trade is we trade on a schedule, so the market opens are perfect for us because they open at a very specific time, and it's no different in some ways than trading a GDP report or Netflix earnings or, you know, Procter and Gamble earnings like we had this morning. Our weekly schedule has the time of the event that we're going to trade. So the gold open is at 8:20 in the morning Eastern time. That's when the gold market opens. Our trade room opens at 8 o'clock, and we get into the room and we talk about the market. We talk about the trade, and then I teach everyone how to enter the trade into our software so you can take the trade. Because like I said, our software installs into the NinjaTrader platform, and it's very easy to enter our settings into the software. And especially every single day, almost every single day, we have a trade room. So that means every single day I'm showing you how to enter information into our software so you can use it to trade these market moving events. So for instance, we show the time of the event, the time that our trade room opens, the name of the event we're going to trade. We have an instrument that we're trading that particular event, or there might be a few different ones. Some events we give a risk rating to, and some events get the second element of our trading system, the daily market mover. And I'll show you what that is in a moment. Also on our weekly schedule, we let folks know when we're streaming on YouTube. Usually we stream on YouTube 3 or 4 times a week. And obviously, you have to keep in mind one very important thing about watching trades on YouTube. There's more latency than there is if you were in a trade room. In a trade room, the latency is almost non-existent. On YouTube, it could be a second or two. And if you're trading news, a second or two can affect a trade, because the whole idea with news trading is sometimes we're trading and putting our orders on the chart a moment before the news comes out. So that's important to realize. If you're trying to trade along with us on YouTube, be careful, just be aware that there could be some latency. So the weekly schedule, it's element number 1 in our system. Then number 2, many of the events that we trade, we send to our members the daily market mover. The daily market mover is a report. It's a trade action report that has information about the specific event that we're going to trade. So in this case, this was the FOMC statement that we were looking at trading. We send the daily market mover to our members the day before the event takes place. We know the way we're going to trade before we get to the trade room. That's the whole idea about the way we do things. And it's not everything, because when you trade a market open, you're not going to know what the trade's going to do. However, we always know what our setup is going to be. And many events, we study the events so carefully that we have a very good idea how that event is going to behave. And we base our setups around that behavior. So we're a little bit different than many of the other trading companies. We're not looking so much at Elliott waves or Fibonacci retracements. While you can use them to trade with us, they're not required, because we're looking more, well, if we're going to trade the FOMC statement, how did the market react the last 6 times there was an FOMC statement? That's how we determine what our setups are going to be. We analyze the behavior of the event. So the events that we choose to trade are the events that give us the most consistent behavior each time the event is released, the news. All right. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, I can't trade with you guys. There's no news because the government shut down. Well, the truth is, very few these days are government reports. Most of the reports we trade are private company reports, and or the Fed is not shut down, so they're still having FOMC statements. Bonds reports and bond auctions are still being released. So most news is still being released even though the government is shut down. It hasn't really had a major effect. The effect that I think the government shutdown has had, I do think it's had an effect on the market volatility. And I think the market volatility is higher since the government has shut down. Certainly for the last 2 weeks, we're seeing increased volatility, and this week it was significant. Okay? So, for instance, the DMM was element number 2 in our system. It's a report that we send to our members, and we also post it on our website the day before we trade the event, and it has the event name, the risk we put on the event, the market we're considering trading, some history about the event over the past year or two. For instance, how many ticks it might have moved. Then we have this all-important yellow line, which is our actual trade setup. And under that, we have a small mini journal. Some of the events that we trade, we might have a journal that looks at the last 6 times those events were traded. For instance, look at the FOMC statement. Stop, win, win, stop, stop, stop. So over the past 6 FOMC statements, the NQ setup that we have only had 2 winners out of 6. So that gives us a big heads up. That tells us you may want to be extremely careful, obviously, if you're going to trade the NQ setup on this report. It's not going to make us get rid of the setup yet, because there were 2 out of 3 of the most recent were winners. If you look at all 6, 4 out of 6 were losers, but 2 out of the most recent 3 on this report were winners. So it may be changing for the best. The other thing is, if you look a little bit further down, there's another setup where we have what we call a trap trade for the ES. And if you look at our notes on the report, the Daily Market Mover also has reports. Our ES trap trade has almost 2 years of success. So that is the way that we're trading the FOMC statement these days. And let me see if I should have a handy video of a fairly recent FOMC statement we traded. So this is actual live trade room video of us trading the FOMC statement. This is NinjaTrader. These are my trading charts, and I'm trading the ES futures. The whole idea when we trade the FOMC statement is what we are looking to take place is a reversal. When the market goes up, we sell the market, and when the market goes down, we buy it. 2 p.m. Eastern Time, the FOMC statement came out. This particular month, this was June, you could see the market chopped around a little bit, that green candle. Then it popped up and it put us in the market short. I believe it's going to pop up even higher and add another contract, put us in the market short with 2 orders. If not, you could see it's starting to reverse. It did the reversal, and now I'm making money as the market changes direction. I move my stop into safety, which is profitable, and I trail until the market changes direction and takes me out. That was a $350 trade, and it was over in about a minute. The market did exactly what we expected it to do that day. It reversed. Our trap trade assumes it's going to reverse. When the market goes up, we sell it. If the market goes down, we buy it, and we make money when it reverses. We call that the trap trade setup. And like I said, on the FOMC statement, we've had almost 2 years of continual winners if you chose that style of trade for the FOMC statement. That's a great setup, one of our favorites. So appointment-based trading is a time-based, pre-planned approach to trade. If there's an event at 2 o'clock, we'll come into our trade room usually at 1:30, spend 20-25 minutes discussing the market, discussing the setup, teaching people how to enter the setup, and then as we get close to the trade, everyone gets quiet and we get ready and we trade it. And we trade it with cash accounts, with prop accounts, whatever you want to trade it with can be very, very appropriate. Our trading system, you can schedule your days and your trades on specific days at specific times up to a month in advance. There are 3 trigger categories of trades that we look at. High impact economic reports like a GDP report or an FOMC statement would qualify as a high impact economic report. Those reports move markets. What happens? The news gets released. The news is often different from what's expected, and that difference, which we call the news offset, that news offset creates market moves in many different instruments. We study the various instruments and try to pick the absolute best ones to trade for each event. Some events might have multiple instruments. Trigger category 2, big company earning reports. We love trading earnings. And look, not every trade that we take is a giant winner. Not every trade is a winner. But this morning we got up early in our trade room. Procter & Gamble is one of the companies. We trade their earnings. They're due out at 7 o'clock. We've been trading them for years. So we have a setup. We have what we call a range trade. Our software creates a 30-second range, and we put our orders above and below the range. What happens then is the earnings come out, and the market moves up or down, and when it pierces our orders above or below the range, we get pulled into the market. That's what happened this morning. And it was kind of a lousy fill this morning. You could see we got filled all the way at the top of the candle almost. But the market kept going up. And when we trade earnings with futures, we have a lot of tools that we watch. We watch Thinkorswim, we watch TradingView, and we watch the actual stock prices. And that helps us to stay in a trade when the earnings are in our direction, or think about getting out of a trade when they're not in our direction. We use all of these tools that we teach our members about to help make news trading safer and more profitable. So this morning, we grabbed not a giant profit. I think I only made about $50 on the original breakout, and then we were able to scalp a test of the high of the day for another $80. When we were done, I think I left the trade room with about $130. I don't mind getting up early if I can make, I say in our trade room, if I make $50 minimum, I can live with that. But I'd really like to make minimum 100 on an earnings trade, because there are fees that you have when you trade commissions and just the cost of doing the trades. But ultimately, sometimes you have no control if you don't get a good fill, or if there's a fast moving market and there's slippage. Sometimes the slippage works against you, sometimes it works for you. But look at what happened here. The market didn't hit our target. It looked like the trade was going to stop us out. It changed direction, but we have a stop under the VWAP. We use levels to help us with our stops, and it changed direction again in our favor. And there it went. It hit our first target, and then we watched for a little while, and I closed the trade room. When I was done, it hit my second target, and that's how I made that extra amount of money above the original $50 on the first part of the trade. The point is, I love trading earnings. Big company earning reports are one of the triggers we use to find events to trade. And sometimes you don't make $1,000 on a trade. Sometimes you make 150. But what if you have 4 150s in 1 week? That's $600 of trading. I don't know anyone that wouldn't be very happy making $600, even $600 a week every week. If you average that, that's a $2,400 a month profit. Nobody would mind that if they were trading. Trigger category number 3, market open and close trades. This morning and almost every morning, we are having excellent success trading market opens, and we use magnets very often to help us. Now, let me just do one thing. Let me grab something. Our members are constantly showing us their winning trades when they trade in the morning. One of our members this week made over $1,000 trading the NQ Open, 11.52 and 72 cents. 62.90 on the MNQ, and he lost $122 on the YM. But that put him up over $1,000 trading the market open, and that was this week. Yesterday, trading our various reports, we made over $1,000 in our trade room, and we passed our eval with Bullinox. Then I woke up this morning and I was $1.20 short and it didn't pass. I had to take a couple of scalps today to pass that eval. But we use Bullinox. Many of our members use Apex. There's lots of companies that let you trade the way we trade, and the magnet is even more in tune with prop trading. If you're a prop trader, the magnets are perfect, and I will show you why. In some ways, they're better than the spike breakout trading that everybody thinks about when they think of news trading. So there are hundreds of triggers within these three categories that you can pick and choose to fit your schedule. You don't have to trade if you're at work. You know, some traders, they have a room they can slip into at work. They could take 15 minutes, take a trade, and then go back to work. We know plenty of people that do that. Many of the members in our trade room are at work when they're in our trade room, and they come the last 10 minutes of the trade room, they take the trade, then they go back to work. Very, very popular method that people use to trade with us. Where do we find the events that we're going to trade? There are lots of free calendars available. We use forexfactory.com, okay? One of the most important places we go to, forexfactory.com, click on calendar, and you get a full week's worth of events. Red are the most impactful, orange next, and then yellow are a little bit quieter. So that's one place we find trades. Investing.com, one of our favorite websites because we use their charts to help us stay in trades. They show us in real time what the news is doing when it's released. So economic tools and then the calendar, and then you see the word actual here. That's the actual news result, and they show that news result while the news is being released. So this morning we were trading Michigan, University of Michigan inflation and consumer expectations. We know if the news is good or bad, and that helps us to decide, do we want to stay in a trade? We also use tradingeconomics.com, Financial Juice, which has a squawk box, talking news that I listen to in my headset. That's not a free account, but it's a great, great product. If you're a serious news trader, if you're a serious earnings trader, that's an absolute must because they report on the important news and they give you that news while you're in the trade room listening to it. Earningswhispers.com is our favorite place where we find earnings trades. Now, someone was asking for our prop account affiliate, so I'm going to post it. Give me half a second. I will post it into the whatchamacallit, the chat for anybody that wants it. I believe there's a PTF 83 code right now. There's an 83% sale. So you could try PTF 83 on the code, okay? And that may work. It should work. Bullinox is one of our favorite companies that we use. They kind of stay out of the way. They don't bug you too much, and they're great when it comes to customer service. Let's be honest, folks. No one is going to give you money easily. You have to work hard to get your money from a prop account. But some are better than others, and some are reliable. And we've been very happy with Bullinox. And members have been pretty happy with Apex as well. They make you run through a few more hoops. But there's quite a few different companies, so choose them carefully. Make sure the rules fit your style of trading. Earningswhispers.com, this is our favorite site for finding earnings trades. They list at the top the greatest hits. I'm not going to go through a lot of this. These are just websites where we find our events. We have on our YouTube channel many free webinars. I've given a whole webinar on just how to schedule the trades, where we find them, how to go about doing it. So definitely check out our YouTube channel, just 10-minute trades. Go onto YouTube and just type in 10-minute trades. You'll find our channel, and there's lots of free content up there that I think you'll find very useful. Okay, so let me put my slides back on. That's how we find our events. The various free calendars. Forex Factory is free, investing.com is free, Financial Juice is free. Just some of the websites have extra features you could pay for that make news trading even better. Like I said, you could trade cash, you could trade in a prop account. Our software is integrated. It's a custom strategy. It's an add-on to NinjaTrader. It has multiple setups. We can automate or semi-automate your trade entries, targets, and stops. And our software is a super ATM, I call it, meaning it can manage your trade. You can have trailing stops. You can move your stop automatically if a target gets hit. That's what trade management is. And instead of learning a language to have to program your trade management, when you use our software, that trade management is all built in. So the thing I wanted to talk about, the strategy that I wanted to talk about the most today is the magnet strategy and why I think it's become possibly the most important method that we're trading these days. The magnet strategy, first you have to understand what is a magnet. So let me backtrack just a tiny bit. Our software has 3 strategy files. We have our news trader software. That includes our breakout spike trader, the range trader, reverse continuation trading. Then we have our trap trade strategy. That's a special reversal strategy. And then we have our magnet strategy. They all install into NinjaTrader in less than a minute, and they're extremely easy to call up. You just right click on your chart and decide which strategy you want to use. A baby could do it. This is a live NinjaTrader chart. Right click on the chart. There's a word. It says strategies. When that loads up like it does right now, on the left, I could choose our News Trader Pro, I could choose our Trap Trade, or I could choose our Magnet Trade. When you choose the Magnet Trade, there are things that we program into it. One of the things that our Magnet Trade does is, first let me explain what a magnet is. That's probably the best and most important element. So a magnet is a level on the chart that many people look at commonly, like a high of day or a low of day or a pivot, the PP for instance, or the VWAP. Everybody hears about VWAPs. These are levels on the chart that traders, what that happens is they place their orders around these levels. So when there's all these orders placed around these levels, those price levels tend to pull price into them. So we trade the exit. The magnet is the exit. So for instance, this green line is the high of day. We have a strategy that when the price goes and touches the high of day, which it does over and over again throughout the day, throughout the week, on every instrument, so you can trade your favorite instruments. They all do this. It's not unique to just gold or unique to just the NQ. All magnets work with all instruments. Every instrument has magnets. And there are certain magnets that are better than others. So for instance, this green line is the high of the day. This gold is getting ready to do a magnet right this second. There's probably barely enough time to set up a magnet trade. But setting it up as a default sim trade here, all right, that's what I'm doing, just to give you an idea how it works. So I've set up our magnet strategy. The idea is we're going to enter at this heavy line. That's our order entry. The software puts that line on the chart. We can move that order, okay? So your order entry is controlled by you, but the goal is let's get to the high of day, or let's get to the PP. Whatever your magnet is that at that moment for that trade, that's going to be your exit. That's going to be your target. That's where you get your profit. If you look at gold, look at what gold's been doing throughout the day. There are certain levels that it loves to test. Right here, it tested the 6 p.m. market opens. That's a very strong magnet. Another very strong magnet is the VWAP. This line down here, that's the VWAP, volume weighted average price. Lots of bingo. That's where it got tested this morning at 9 o'clock. Gold tested the VWAP. Lots of traders look at the VWAP as a line, and that line often gets tested throughout the day. Our strategy, the magnet strategy, has two systems right now built in. The high of day, low of day, fully automated system, and the custom level system. The reason we did custom levels is because we know that people out there love trading their own indicators, their own analysis. So if you don't trade the high of day, for instance, you could say, I think gold at 41.35. At 41.35, that's a magic level. I think it's 100%. Gold's going to get to 41.35. That's my magnet. That's my exit. Our magnet strategy in about 2 minutes can create a strategy, a trade that will exit at that level. And it's easy to do. Instead of using the high of day, low of day system, I use what I call the custom level system. Turn on the strategy, change HOD high of day to custom level. And all you have to do is type in the custom level. That's your exit. 41.35 is my exit, right? I've already got a contract set up. So I've got a one position trade. I'm going to put a target of 30 ticks. I'm going to put a target of 30 ticks. We may change that. And I'm going to put a stop of 30. All right, so that's my magnet trade interim setup for the custom level. It's virtually almost done. Watch what happens when I apply it, okay it, and turn it on. So remember, what did we say? Our magnet is the exit, right? To make it easy to put your levels on, we typed in the magnet exit, 41.35. But it's a short trade, right? Because we're above that level. Price is up here. To make this magnet trade work, we need the market to go down. So it's a short trade. That thick line that we put on at 41.35, we can easily move it. And that's our entry. That's our entry. We could look at the entry in the box, and it'll show us where the entry is. And we can move it around to find what we feel is the best place to enter. And then all you have to do is look at how much movement is there and make sure that your target is reasonable. So in this case, gold, our exit is 41.35. If our entry is 40, that's $5 away. That's 50 ticks. So you would want a target of 50 ticks or less, okay? We have a software update coming out. I'm not talking about it today. All this calculation is going to go out the window. Not going to have to do it in about a week or two. Big upgrade coming. Our custom level system does require you to think a little bit about the target. Our high of day, low of day magnet system automatically calculates it for you. Now, you can automate the magnet trade by pressing the magnet entry button. And when the price gets to the thick line, which is our entry, the magnet will put you in the trade short with a target near 41.35, the magnet. Okay, the line, the level that we think is the right magnet, the right area that is going to attract price. If you don't automate the trade by turning the button purple, when it gets to your thick order entry line, we get an audio beep and a blinking purple button. This button blinks purple, so you can just come over and then press it, and it'll put you in the trade. Let's say, for argument's sake, you believe this market is kicking butt to the short side, and you want to enter right now before the magnet calculates. I press the Enter Now button, and now I'm short I could move my order down near the magnet because that's my goal, right? It's a magnet trade. I believe I'm probably going to get down towards that magnet, but I can control quite a few different ways of entering. I can enter automated, I can enter discretionary. Very, very important. I have a custom level system or I have an automated high of day, low of day system. Let me show you the high of day, low of day. But let me say one thing further about the custom level. What does that mean if you can use a custom level? It means if you love looking at Fibonacci's and you look at the 33%, retracement, you can throw your Fibonacci's on the chart and your magnet could be, your exit could be that 33% retracement. If you like Elliott waves, you could find the level on the wave, that is your exit, and you put that custom level in and you now have a trade that will trade towards that level. It's a fantastic way to trade. It's also a much calmer way to trade than, for instance, trading a news spike the exact second the market releases the news. A lot of times what happens on a magnet trade, the news will come out and it hasn't yet gotten to the high of day, but the news result pushes the price towards the high of day. So we trade many magnets in the room right after the news looking for a move towards the magnet. Does the software have backtest? NinjaTrader absolutely supports backtesting. It is a key part of everything that we do at 10-minute trades. I have backtested thousands of trades over the past 10 years that I've been working for 10-minute trades. Thousands. People that like to backtest are the most successful traders, because if you like to backtest, that means you're willing to look at what the market does on these events. If you like to see how is Amazon trading, how are you going to know if Amazon is a good earnings trade if you don't go back in time and look at some of the moves and backtest it? How do you know a magnet is going to work on gold's market open if you don't go and look at some market opens using gold? NinjaTrader supports playback. They call it we call it replay, they call it playback. NinjaTrader has a whole playback system. I have webinars on our YouTube channel where I teach you how to use their playback system. You don't have to know how to do it. If you're a member of our service, we do it for you, but I always teach that the people that do the best, the traders that succeed the most, are the traders that are willing to learn the most about what they're doing and learning how to backtest, learning how to test the various events. You could practice your trading, which is fantastic. It's an unbelievable feature of backtesting, practicing your trading. Practice scalping, practice reversals, practice continuations, practice your breakouts. What could be better in teaching you how to trade? So backtest, I'm really glad you asked that question, Vincent. It's the most important, one of the top 3 most important things you can learn if you're a news trader. So I was going to show you the high of day, low of day system with the strategy, the magnet strategy. So we're not going to use custom level. We're going to go back to high of day, low of day. The high of day, low of day puts the line on, but our position size and our target, in particular, the target is automatic. The target, number 1, and you can have 2 positions, 2 targets, because if you go through the magnet, you want to be able to make more money than if you just test it. I love testing magnets. So what is a test? A test, in my mind, is if you get 3 ticks away from the magnet, from the exit. That, to me, is a valid test. So when I designed the magnet strategy, we told our programmer, make target 1 3 ticks away from the magnet. If you're long, it would be 3 ticks under it. If you're short, it's 3 ticks above it. Doesn't matter. It's 3 ticks away from the magnet. When you get there, you get your first profit. The high of day, low of day system has that built in. So all I have to do is choose high of day, low of day, decide how many contracts I want to trade. Right now I'm just testing one. And what's my stop? So I've got a 30 stop. We put in this percent proximity. That just puts the thick, heavy line on the chart so we can move it around. That's all it is. When I turn on the trade, I get my line, okay? If I'm testing the high, I don't want to be 800 ticks away from the high, just like if I'm going to be testing the low, I don't want to be 800 ticks away from the low. But I want enough of a profit so that if it goes to the low from where I enter, the thick line, I'm going to make a couple of $100 preferably, right? So that is the absolute key. That is the absolute key towards making money, is choosing smart areas where you're going to get filled. And let's be truthful and honest and transparent here. You're not going to do well taking a short magnet if the market is up 500 points and the news that just came out is good. So you want to read the trend of the market and keep the trend on your side as much as possible. There will be times when we trade against the trend because news changes the trend very fast sometimes. And indicators don't always keep up. So magnets are great because they're always on all charts. Every chart has a high of the day, right? If it's a chart that if an instrument that trades every day, it makes a high that day and it makes a low that day. Those are my favorite magnets. So for instance, if we go over to, let's go over to the ES. I know people love trading the ES, the mini S&P. So if you look at the mini S&P, it made a magnet before we got here. It tested the high at 1223, all right, this afternoon. Now it just tested R2. You could have set that up as a custom magnet trade. And it looks like it might test the VWAP. You could set up the VWAP as a custom magnet trade. How long would that take me to do? Let me show you one more custom magnet trade. Right-click strategy, click magnet, change high of day to custom level. I want to look at what that custom level is, 6822. Type in 6822. I've got a position. I always put in like a 30 tick target. I've already got a stop built in. Apply it, okay it, turn it on, and now I can adjust my order. My order is right by the exit. The magnet level is the exit. Why do I type that in? Because it's easy and quick. I don't need to look around for the perfect level before the trade has taken place. I can do that after I'm set up. Now that I'm set up and I know that my order is this thick line, I could do my analysis. I want to be under the R2. I want the market to break the pivot before I go short. And maybe even more important, I like to use the squeeze, this indicator here. In a market that is not so fast that indicators are working, I want a market that indicators are working in. Those are my favorite magnets. I can use the squeeze to help me decide, do I think this magnet is going to have a good chance of firing? Is it going to trigger? If the squeeze is going down and momentum is heading down, look at the price action this particular day. The squeeze was working perfectly. We love the squeeze because it's a great momentum indicator when you use it with news and when you use it with the net change display indicator, which we teach you how to use, just like we go over how to use the squeeze. We choose like 3 or 4 things that are important to help us determine if there's going to be a magnet trade. Now, I could turn this on and automate it. I'm going to move my order way up. Maybe we'll get Bingo, we got a live trade. It triggered, it blinked purple, and it filled me short. Now, I don't know if it's going to work. We have something that's working against us. The net change display and the ES is very bullish. I might not have been willing to really take that trade with real money because it's not perfect. Also, it's not the best time of day. We're in the middle of the day, lunchtime. I may not want to take that trade, but I just wanted to show you how easy and fast it was to do. With NinjaTrader, you can move your stops, find the best level for your stop, find the best location for your targets. We teach all about doing these things in our trade room every single day that we take these trades. I love the magnets because when you're afraid of news trades, and a lot of people are, they're afraid to trade the market exactly when the news comes out. And look, sometimes you don't get a good fill, sometimes there's too much slippage. With the magnet, you just wait for the news to take place, or if the magnet level is very far away, you can set your trade up because the news will probably not trigger it, and you could then watch and wait for your magnet to get tested after the news. It is a fantastic way to trade news much more safely because you're not worrying about a spike. You're not worrying about getting filled on the wrong side of the market. You're setting up your trade with great care and analysis and intelligence, and it's a fantastic way to trade. The prop companies love it because it's very consistent, and you don't have $1,000 winner one day and a $20 winner the next day like you do with spike trading. And I'm not saying we're going to ever get away from spike trading because we love that style of trading also. But in this day and age, you've got to be modern and change with the times, and people do want very consistent types of trades as well. And the magnet is absolutely perfect for that. Let me show you a real magnet trade that we took. This was in our prop account. You could see that my thick heavy order, this was a gold trade, was on the chart. We had our magnet trade automated, and we were just watching. I was probably just talking. We have the squeeze on our chart. You could see the squeeze was very helpful in long signals. And I'm going to just speed this up a little bit. The market is moving. It's moving up. It's going to fill me. There it is. I get filled. And now the magnet is the high of day above me, and my target is before I get to that high of day. And this was a real trade. It pulled back a little bit. It chopped around. Sometimes you got to move your stop. I knew I was pretty comfortable this trade was going to work. Bingo, magnet trade strikes again. That's a magnet trade. Let me show you another thing that you can do with magnets. If you like trading market opens, you just look for the magnet around the market open. It's very often going to be the high of day, low of day. Very often the VWAP is going to be nearby. If you don't like the risk of trading the exact moment the market open takes place, wait for the market open to start and trade the magnet around it. That's a very, very popular way that many of our members and myself trade magnets. Market opens are fantastic. There are better times than others to trade magnets. Obviously, in my opinion, the best time is in the morning when you're trading news. For us, we love trading magnets around the news because what does news trading do? It triggers magnets. It pushes price towards those levels where all those orders are sitting. And as you get closer and closer to those levels, what happens is those orders kick in. The magnetism of those orders kick in. It pulls the price, and those orders get placed, and you want one of your orders to be part of it. And that's why magnet trades can be so successful. High of day, low of day is absolutely my favorite. VWAP, very, very great way to trade magnets also. And you saw it's not hard to set these up. I mean, we've got a ES magnet getting ready to take place. Just if we were in our trade room right now and we were talking, and I noticed the ES is behaving that way, I click magnet trade, high of day, low of day is the default. I've got a target, I've got a stop, apply it, okay it, enable it, move my order down a little bit so I have a profit. If price goes up, I would turn it on automatic. If this ES price goes up, it's going to fill me at this spot. And if it continues moving and tests the high again, the squeeze is in my favor, pushing up. Notice that green line. There's a good chance this ES is going to go back and test the high of the day again today. That's a magnet trade. Over and over and over again, these types of events take place. If you don't like trading, look, I just got filled. Let's watch for a second. There's no guarantee every trade's going to work, but there's a pretty darn good possibility it'll go back and test that high again. I love but there are magnets that are better than others. Had the high not been tested just a few minutes ago, this magnet would have a higher probability. We've learned over time, taking these types of trades, that if there's a recent magnet, the next magnet has a lower probability of working. So the best magnets are when there are no recent magnets around us. Those are our favorite magnets, and they have the higher probability. These are things that we learn. These are elements of trading that you come to understand by being experienced at it. So let me go back to my slides. Any questions? Does the software backtest we did? I can't give you any more hints about the update other than it's going to be out, I hope, within a week or two at the most. And there's going to be more automation and making trading the magnets much easier. Chart setup is critical. I have webinars on YouTube that show you exactly how to set up your charts like ours. It takes about 10 minutes. We show you exactly what indicators to put on, how to configure them. Literally, it's no more than 10 minutes. When you look at my charts, look how simple they are. There's not like a million weird looking ranges and color coded areas that you don't understand without, going to college for extra study, curricular activity. You just you don't have to be a genius to look at our charts and understand the movement direction. And that's the most important thing with magnets, direction of the move, okay? We teach you, we show you exactly how to set your charts up exactly like ours, if you want them that way. Not everybody even wants them that way. So I've shown you what triggers a magnet. High of day, low of day, VWAP, pivots, all right? What's a reversal continuation? Is it like a magnet trade? We have a setup in our software that in 1 minute lets you put on the chart a reverse continuation. So let's say on a different instrument, I think there's going to be a different trade. Maybe I think the NQ, which just tested the high, is going to reverse. Right click, click strategy, double click news trader, put on reverse continue, click reverse continue. I can put the number of contracts I want to trade, target, stop, enable the trade, reverse continue. When I enable it, I get an instant long button and an instant short button. If I think this market's heading back up, I can do a continuation because it's been moving up. If I think this market's going to reverse off the low, I could take an instant short and watch the market as it falls if I'm right in my analysis. Now look, we have an indicator called net change display. It's free. It's part of NinjaTrader. It's showing me that the NQ is up 297 points. I may not want to take a ton of shorts today. I might want to take this as a long for another test of the high. I could be wrong, but it may be a better option to take a long today. The squeeze is moving up, momentum is on the upside, 300 points up on the NQ. Don't you think it might be a better long? And look, price is going long. It's hitting my target as we speak. If it hits my target, I can move my stop to safety. What do I mean? Move my stop to safety. My stop automatically moved closer to where I entered. So if it then reverses and takes me out, I can protect some of the profit. That's called moving your stop to safety. That's part of our software. All of these things we're teaching you in our trade room. The magnet and the reversal continuation are often used on the same chart, very close to each other. Two great complementary setups. Can you trade market opens? Absolutely can trade market opens with the magnet. Here is the deal, because I've been yakking and yakking and yakking. Is NinjaTrader web-based? What do you mean web-based? I mean, can you do it? You can. NinjaTrader currently is best running off of a desktop or a laptop. It's not really a super mobile system yet. They're trying to get there, and they probably will get there. Currently, laptop, desktop, I think is the strongest way to trade using NinjaTrader. So here's the deal, folks. Our members, we've been using magnets, we've been using breakouts at the market open. What's nice about the magnets is, like I said before, you don't have to set up your trade the exact second the open comes, but you could set up your trade around the open. Let me show you a recent open. Let me just pull up, just for fun, let me pull up today's open and see what it looks like. I wasn't really planning on showing today's market open. So give me a second. I'll find the file. And we'll just look and see what are their magnets around today's market open. You know what? I have a market open from this week. So this week, the 22nd, you'll notice that we had magnets set up to test the low of the day on, let me see what instrument that is. It looks like it was gold. So a lot of times we'll be trading around the market open. For instance, over here on the right, we're trading the magnet on the YM. We had moved our entry way up because we had the PP below us and the low of day below us. The YM was selling off. It wasn't a horrible sell-off. We got filled short. It chopped around a bit. And then let's see what the market did. What did it do? Did it continue or did it go against us? They don't all work. This market wound up almost going completely against us. It got to the VWAP and reversed, which is very common. My stop always above the VWAP. I survived the move against me and made real money in our prop account as it tested the PP. Bingo, winning magnet trade. Yes, you can trade magnets around the opens. So here is the deal. We would like you to join us for all of our magnet earnings news trade rooms, all of them. You get full access, 100% access to our news trader software, all the elements of our system, the daily market mover, the weekly schedule, trade room access, and our software. But I want to tell you this is the last opportunity for 2 months that we're going to offer our trial. We've got some exciting things going on for the end of the year. There are not going to be any trial memberships available because we are developing an update to our software. We're going to be featuring that in all of our current webinars, and the trial is going to go away for at least a month, maybe 2. This is the last time that I'm going to be pushing the trial in the near future. You'll get full access to everything we have. Daily market movers, trade room access, all of our software strategies, including the magnet strategy, for 30 days. Pro Trade Room subscription, everything that we sell, our trap trade strategy. Trade in a prop account, trade with your cash account using NinjaTrader. Final trial opportunity till after the end of the year, $20.25 for 30 days, www.gopro25.com. When this trial is over, this trial is going to be over for a month to two at the minimum. www.gopro25.com. This expires Sunday at midnight. Time frame trading, there's a question, what time frame do you use for your trading? 1 minute and 30 seconds are my favorites, but no reason why you can't use 5-minute time frames. The squeeze happens to be excellent in a 5-minute time frame. It really depends on what you like. Magnets are totally flexible when it comes to time. You could use a daily magnet if you're a very slow swing trader and you look for a daily magnet. It's no reason you can't do that. It's all up to you. I like 1 minute and 30 seconds because I don't want to stay in trades more than a couple of minutes. That's what I like, the way I like to trade. Our trial, like I said, final opportunity. We're getting not rid of it forever, but it's going to go away for a while. So this is the last opportunity to get our 30-day trial for $20.25. It's ridiculous. www.gopro25.com. It renews at $97 a month because that's what our pro membership costs. If you want to cancel it, just send us an email. I'll show you the email address. Here's everything you get, all of our news trading software suite, all the trade setups, the reversal trades, the trap trade, the magnet trades, everything. We will teach you in the trade room all about our appointment-based trading method. You can choose and learn how to create your own schedule. You could trade on our schedule, always with us if you want. But we're going to teach you how to do this the right way so that you can become a successful news, event-based trader and a discretionary trader. Because let's face it, magnet trading is discretionary as well as based around news. I will guide you step by step in all the trade rooms. Everybody that knows me knows I'm patient. I don't yell at anybody. I'm a great teacher. I love teaching this strategy because I designed this strategy. I believe in it. I think it's a fantastic way to trade the markets. If you need help, if you want to cancel your trial, help at 10minutetrades.com. The only thing we ask and the only thing we're sticky about, just cancel before the billing takes place because it's expensive to refund money, and we will not refund if you don't cancel after the billing takes place. All you have to do is send an email, help at 10minutetrades.com. We're very, very flexible and nice. We will always cancel it on time. www.gopro25.com, $20.25. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. You'll learn so much about news trading, event trading, and discretionary trading that you'll keep this skill with you for the rest of your life. You'll get the magnet trade, the live trading room, news trader software, a teacher who cares, but it's going to expire Sunday at midnight. GoPro for just $20.25. And that's what I got to tell you, folks. Does it have AI in the software? So what if it does? What if it doesn't? It doesn't matter. All this talk about AI, find me an AI trading program that works. I haven't seen one yet that people aren't complaining about. Everybody says, AI, it's perfect, it's perfect. I spent my whole morning looking for AI setups, and I'm telling you, AI is great, but AI is it depends on how it's implemented. When you're looking at magnets, what do you need about AI? All you got to look at, is it moving to the high? Is it moving to the low? Sometimes our brain is better than AI. But I'm not going to knock AI. I love it. I love AI. I use it every day. But we don't, and I know that Rory has great robots for AI. So don't get me wrong. Every setup is different. Every purpose is different. I love Rory's AI. They use it in a way that isn't appropriate for the way that we do it. So we don't need AI for our magnet trades. Now, maybe down the road, here's something that AI could do that'll be exciting. AI, when we automate in our next update, and it's something I am looking at, is adding AI to make the decision 100% for you. The problem is AI still can struggle sometimes with making a perfect decision. So I'm not yet ready, me personally, to tell AI to let me make every single decision. But that's where it's going, and the AI gets better and better. So ultimately, an AI magnet is in the cards, and I love the idea of it. It's just got to be developed the perfect way. So this is a final trial opportunity till after the end of the year, $20.25, www.gopro25.com. It's going to expire Sunday night. And Rory is coming out right now. Rory can probably hear me. You out there, Rory?